Welcome back to our channel, War News Today, where we keep you updated on all the arguments and wars happening in the world between countries. Stay till the end of the video to learn about this new Cold War that started between North Korea and Russia. The war in Ukraine. Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, started the conflict in Ukraine, and as a result, Russia began to suffer significant losses in many bilateral partnerships. He never believed he would lose, so he didn't think he would clash with any of his allies. Many of his supporters have abandoned him already, and North Korea is the newest of these pals. We did see North Korea and Russia have good relations again, so what happened exactly? North Korea, which Putin believed had maintained positive relations with, has abruptly turned its back on Russia. North Korea, alleged to give the Wagner Group significant armed support during the Ukraine war, denies these allegations and maintains that it did not aid Russia. Claims that North Korea supported Russia came from the United States. It invoked arms sales with Pyongyang that contravened relevant UN Security Council resolutions. America earlier this month classified the Wagner Group as an international criminal organization. John Kirby, a spokesman for national security, claims that the White House presented American intelligence images of Russian wagons as they entered North Korea, picked up a supply of infantry rockets, and then left for Russia. A senior North Korean official refuted the charges in a statement provided to the official Korean Central News Agency, warning that the United States would suffer a truly unfavorable result if it kept spreading the self-made rumor. According to Kwon Zong, Director General of the North Korean US Department of State, creating something to harm North Korea's reputation is a significant provocation that is never tolerated and must always result in a response. He added that it was absurd to attempt to separate Ukraine from Syria and Russia in a weapons offer. The only nation that recognizes eastern Ukraine is North Korea. The independence of the two separatist territories that Russia has supported, Luhansk and Donetsk, but it appears North Korea has stopped doing so. Putin's trusted ally, China, has not supported Russia in any way. North Korea now denies being involved in the conflict in Ukraine, as is widely believed to be the case. According to some intelligence assessments, North Korea allegedly responded strongly against Russia due to the crisis that Moscow reportedly caused. In the interim, it claimed that North Korea had drawn valuable conclusions from Putin's war. After China, the Far East, and Caucasian nations, we question if Putin has lost one of his final two allies. Only Iran was able to supply Putin with military equipment and supplies. But even still, recently Iran has also faced difficulties and has been the target of several domestic uprisings, skirmishes, and, most recently, several airstrikes. So what were North Korea's decisions together, and how has North Korea rejected Russia? The world's efforts to recover from COVID-19 are rocky because Russia invaded Ukraine. The Ukrainian conflict impacts all nations and has lessons for them. North Korea is no exception. How did Kim Jong-un interpret the events in Ukraine? From the beginning of the war in Ukraine, Putin's approval rating has improved from 65% in December 2021 to 84% shortly after the attack and 79% in November. With the acquisition of Crimea, Putin's approval rating had risen to 80%, but by the end of 2013, it had fallen to 60%. The war's effects, which bolstered the dictator's internal support and could have taught Kim Jong-un a valuable lesson, proved that domestic political instability and dissatisfaction can't be directed outside one's own country. Kim Jong-un can utilize military provocations to lessen the weight of widespread unrest and instability brought on by the growing economic hardships and authoritarianism due to COVID-19. On the other hand, Kim Jong-un will be concerned about the effects of the conflict if Putin is held accountable for the causes and repercussions of the future wars. Moreover, if mishandled, alarming provocations might eventually result in more internal unrest and dissatisfaction, particularly among important regime supporters. To teach North Korea proper lessons, the international community must cooperate. With the conflict in Ukraine continuing for more than 11 months, Russia and Ukraine are addressing difficulties with their capacity to conduct war. This was another critical point in the conflict. Have you got engrossed by this information yet? Well, we're glad to keep you interested this whole time, and stay until the end of the video to be astonished even more. If you liked the video, subscribe to our channel for more such videos and hit that like button. Now let's move on to the video. Russia is engaged in a drawn-out conflict despite having an early military advantage. Eventually, Russia issued a call for mobilization and assembled extra troops, but on the other hand, reports of a shortage of weapons and ammunition surfaced. With its friends' financial and military help, especially the USA, Ukraine is waging war despite having a vast military imbalance compared to Russia. The conflict in Ukraine also served to underline to North Korea the importance of military might as a pillar of state power. North Korea will take notes of Russia's lack of combat prowess, its military miscalculations and errors, Ukraine's readiness to go to war, the assistance of international and national community, and the incorporation of civilian components to close the military gap. Also, North Korea will learn about the weaknesses of the economic pressures caused by deep economic linkages from the economically intertwined Russia and Europe. All of this will probably drive North Korea to increase the strength of its military capabilities while minimizing reliance on outside forces. Russia used hybrid warfare to occupy Crimea successfully in 2014. Nevertheless, Ukraine's use of hybrid warfare in the ongoing struggle is awe-inspiring. Some prominent examples are integrating public information and private assets, cyber resilience, empowering political and psychological warfare, low-cost weapon systems, and commercial technologies. Meanwhile, the Western Ukraine successfully conduct their hybrid warfare defense while preparing for Russia's hybrid onslaught. Russia hybrid warfare may have provided a lesson to North Korea. This is because hybrid warfare can give the attacker an advantage over the defense by increasing the usable gray zones and gaining an advantage, while, on the other hand, maximizing asymmetry. Another lesson is that the hybrid warfare could have produced better outcomes in the Ukraine war because the previously utilized tool combination needed to be more efficient. It was noteworthy that South Korea had strengthened its endurance and defensive skills to stop the strategic unification of North Korea. North Korea may exploit the situation by exploiting the shrinking gap between its asymmetrical capabilities and South Korea's growing resilience. President Putin has mentioned the potential for using nuclear weapons since the start of the conflict, despite having an advantage. President Vladimir Putin raised Russia's atomic deterrence on February 27th, the fourth day of the invasion. The director of the USCIS concluded that if Russia is at a disadvantage, it may resort to using tactical or low-level nuclear weapons. The pressure is increased with this nuclear card and Russia's nuclear shadow covering Europe. North Korea is now aware of the effects of nuclear force, which were previously only theoretical. North Korea will reduce the bar for using atomic weapons if Russia lowers it and uses them. Conversely, if Russia does not use nuclear weapons and the war is won, North Korea will do the same. North Korea will have the grounds for objecting to the current scenario in which Russia is averse to using nuclear weapons. This impression is backed up by several North Korean remarks that, in 2002, it intensified its rhetoric by referring to the preemptive use of atomic weapons. However, North Korea's new nuclear strategy is probably influenced by many factors, plus the ongoing conflict with China and Russia. The Ukrainian war has ended this discussion and forewarned a new Cold War. It's debatable whether this strategic rivalry between the United States and China is similar to the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union. In its national security plan from 2002, the United States recognized China as its lone opponent and Russia as the immediate threat, stating the forces combining authoritarian rule with revisionist foreign policy posed the most significant threat to their vision. After the Ukraine conflict, NATO established a robust front against Russia in the Indo-Pacific area. With the united front with Australia at its heart, South Korea and Japan are starting to ally to confront China. Regarding the ROK, North Korea will also take several lessons from this conflict and work to improve its current challenging status domestically and internationally. It will be necessary for the US alliance to take measurements to support opportunistic activities and ensure that North Korea does not just learn from these lessons by misinterpreting or misjudging the current circumstance. And with that, we will come to the end of today's video. So friends, what are your thoughts and views regarding this controversy? Do tell us in the comment section below. If you liked the video, then hit the like button, and for more such updates, subscribe to our channel War News Today. We'll be back soon with another fantastic video, but until then, stay tuned.